This will be the final installment. I'm going to blow through just a few items here, and then we're going to show off the one piece that when I went there to buy this stuff, didn't even realize that it existed, and when I got there, it made all the difference in the world as far as me being able to offer, make an offer on this. So, just some random. Most of this got a couple of little hold downs in here that'll be handy. And it's funny, when I first saw this, I thought it was a collet stop, a small collet stop, but it's just a couple of nuts and a washer and the way it was in there. Yeah, who cares? We got a bunch of brazed or cemented carbide. Hey, interesting. There's a little boring bar. There's a few boring bars in here. Some random high-speed steel in here too. Nothing to get excited about really. Oh, but this was, I thought this was funny. Check this out. Look at what's going on here. So this thing's been ground into a tri-cornered, almost like scraper. All right, but what this started out as is this was an automatic center punch, and I know that because it's got the adjustment knob here that says it's got the arrows pointing one way and the other way for increase and decrease. So why on earth? I don't know if it was just broken and he decided to convert it into something else here, but this is just bizarre. I guess he wanted something that had knurling on it so he could really grab, and I don't know. Anyways, this box right here, it was off to the side, and he said, "Oh, this is." He says, "If you want this, it's it's included." He says, "If you don't want it," in other words, it wasn't going to affect the price whether I took it or I didn't. And I said, "Well, I'll take it because I can always use all these good cap screws that are in here." And well, there's an Allen wrench. Look at that. There's a Weber 900 thousandths Weber gauge block. Actually, not too bad. And this looks like a screw for a, well, quite frankly, it looks like a screw off of a clamp like this, only it's larger. I don't know what this is. It's kind of unusual. Anybody ever seen one of those? I guess it could be a screw extractor, right? Drill a hole, jam it in there so that these sharp edges cut in. I just finished digging around in there. I found a couple of micrometer wrenches. That's it. Here's the last of what was in the last tray here. We'll get to this stuff in a second. We've got another homemade dressing tool, wheel dressing tool. This one's a little bit more elaborate. And he was explaining to me the reason why he made this one the way he did was so that you could just put this down, on your magnetic chuck, and the wheel would be here, and you would just move this in and dress the wheel. So I guess this would be handy if you wanted to dress the wheel without moving the position of the wheel, like maybe you were, I don't know. Not quite sure. I guess just a quick way to do it too. That's a neat little tool though. And then he even had this little piece of plastic. He said what he would do is he would stick this on here like that, and that would keep the grit from the wheel from getting down in there and messing up the works. This is this is almost like a homemade sign. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I remember now. He made this for dressing an angle on the side of a wheel. Yeah, this might be a sign plate that he made. Couple of shop made 1, 2, 3 blocks with his name on them. A ball peen hammer. Even got his name on that one. Couple of can't twist clamps. Can always use more of those. These are good size ones. I don't know what this is. Something. Maybe for holding another I don't know what that would be for. Couple of parallels. Couple more parallels. Here's a lone one. Surprised it didn't have a pair. Couple like little auxiliary jaws or something. Angle block. General drill gauge. Fractional. So see this little homemade jig he made here? Well, what's cool about this is that this right here looks just like one of those little wee blocks. But he said he made this for grinding really small pins and stuff. I could see that. Alright, so this is a nice item here that he had. This is it's a 24-inch genuine Mitutoyo blade with a Mitutoyo square. He also has a 12-inch Mitutoyo blade with the genuine Mitutoyo bevel protractor and the genuine Mitutoyo centering head. Now, the only issue with the centering head is he had lost the spring and the clamping nut. And what's on here right now is just a nut that he had thrown on here, but I realized I had an extra one of these nuts from, you know, a US made one, and realized that the thread was different, and then I realized, oh, even this doesn't thread on. He just stuck this on here for, because he didn't have a metric. This is probably metric. He didn't have a metric nut, so he just threw this on here so this wouldn't get lost. So just got to get, you know, a spring and a metric clamping nut to go on here, and this will be a nice complete set. Alright, so before I unveil that item that I talked about that was not in the photograph when I originally went out to buy this stuff. This was in the photograph, but I couldn't tell what the make was, but I had a feeling that, based on the fact that just the look of the case, that it was going to be Chinesium, and it is. It is Chinesium. But it's actually in pretty nice shape. It's a dial height gauge. So, like a lot of the Chinese stuff, like Chinese dial calipers that I've had, it doesn't have a brand name on it. It just says shockproof. This one says double-way shockproof. It does appear to have a deep scratch or small crack in the plastic crystal right here. Other than that, though, it actually looks okay. And it works perfect. No reason why it shouldn't. Up at the top here it says stainless steel. And it is, I'm sorry, it says stainless hardened. And it is 12-inch. Don't know how expensive these are brand new. Can't be too pricey. Chinese after all, right? There's no label or numbers or anything on this, so I'm just going to have to go with looking up a generic model and see what I can find. We also have a adapter in here. I guess this would allow you to mount a indicator with a round post in here. Okay. Oh, that's right. I promised that special item. So if you've been playing along from the beginning, you'll remember way back in part 1 that I said that I ended up buying this entire lot for 350 clams. Well, if you've been kind of keeping score going along here, you'll probably see that there's a lot of nickel and dime stuff here that's really not going to add up to that much. So, you know, profit margin's pretty slim on this one. But what helped out in my decision was this item right here. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the case, the original case for the item. Matter of fact, I didn't even notice at the time, because I knew it wasn't the right case. I didn't even notice that this actually is a Mitutoyo case. I would actually have liked to have known what was in this, and actually there it is. Well, oddly enough, look at that. It was a Mitutoyo precision vise. A 986-101 vise is what was in this box originally. But that's not what's in here now. Okay. Another precision grinding vise, of which I have several. Big whoop. It's even got some damage right there. Look at that. Oh, we got a little ding there. That's not so great. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm excited about this vise. This is a Hermann Schmidt vise from East Hartford, Connecticut. Hermann Schmidt is considered to be one of the finest examples of this type of precision grinding vise. This is a 3-inch, so this is a used 3-inch Hermann Schmidt grinding vise. Yeah, so anyways, a 3-inch Hermann Schmidt vise, good used condition with no case. Trades for between like $175 and $225 on eBay. So I value this vise personally at around $150 when I was making this deal. If I decide to sell it, I'll probably sell it for not much more than that. If I decide to keep it, then I'll have a nice quality precision vise. You know, I haven't really decided yet. I am going to probably see what vise actually originally came in this box. I'm curious what this Mitutoyo vise looks like that this box belongs to. Consequently, somebody paid $85 for a Hermann Schmidt box on eBay, an empty wooden box. It was pretty fancy, and it probably didn't have a simple grinding vise like this in it. It probably had some sort of a fixture in there for like dressing wheels or something like that. Anyways, boy, that is close tolerance. Gotta be dead nuts right getting this thing on. There we go. Anyways, okay. So, one more thing before I close out this episode. I want to revisit an item that I showed earlier on because it's kind of a conundrum. And that is this Mitutoyo Set of Calipers. As you guys may recall, this is not the case. I had this case and I decided to put these in this case so that they would have a case. These are a 500 series, or at least that's what they're supposed to be. There was a problem where the display was flashing. And I figured out that when you turn them on, after 30 seconds, it starts flashing the display every time. Doesn't matter if I turn it on, if it's flashing the display and I turn it off and turn it right back on, 30 seconds, flashes. If it's been sitting and nobody's been using it, turn it on, 30 seconds, flashes. And I thought maybe that was a low battery indication. But when I looked for manuals online for Mitutoyos, none of the Mitutoyos said anything. None of the manuals or instructions said anything about flashing display, meaning low battery. So that kind of made me wonder. I listed them that way on my page, and immediately a couple people wondered whether or not these might not be counterfeits, the fakes. And I was like, boy, you know, for instance, the label on the back not having any part number or serial number present that I can see was kind of an indicator that maybe we had a problem. Also, I have since discovered, tried another battery, and with a fresh battery in there, or a stronger battery, a couple of things. I noticed that with a stronger battery, when I tilt the display, it stays dark, whereas with the previous battery in there, if I tilted the display, it got kind of weak. With a newer battery in there, the display stays black no matter if I tilt it, and guess what? After 30 seconds, it stays good. It doesn't flash anymore. That problem has been eliminated, which makes me think, why does the flashing display mean low battery in this pair when it doesn't mean low battery in others? Someone else said they think that this screw looks wrong, that the size of this screw doesn't look correct. But then I went and looked at like some modern fakes, which there are YouTube videos of, and the modern fakes, the screws are even bigger than this. So I just don't know. Fit and finish, well, they're actually pretty darn good. They feel good. So that would make you think that, oh, well, maybe not fakes. But AVE did a video where he found, he ordered a pair for $33 off the internet. And they came in and he did a bunch of tests on them. And he said fit and finish on those. He said they looked great. Looked good, felt good, everything was great until he did some current draw tests, which I'm not going to go through. But basically he showed how the the knockoffs were drawing too much current in standby mode. Somebody else said the fact that there's a serial number down here, what appears to be a serial number engraved down here, that they thought that meant that it was counterfeit. So I don't know. Don't know what to make of them. So I've relisted them for 15 bucks as fakes. And then I've got people now asking me, well, what makes you think it's a fake? And I'm like, well, because some people are saying it is. So I have no idea. Don't know. Oh, well. If they don't end up selling, I'll hold on to them, because they seem to work perfectly fine, and they actually seem to be pretty decent. They're much better quality than the Horror Freight ones that I've got from Pittsburgh Tool that are supposed to be my beater calipers. I mean, these are far better feel than that. One last thing I decided to do, because I was really curious, was I wanted to see what a Mitutoyo 986-101 Precision Vise was. Well, I don't think I'm ever going to see one in my lifetime, because apparently it was not a very common model. I was only able to find, well, first of all, none of them have sold on eBay in the past 90 days. None of them are currently listed on eBay. And when I search on Google, and sometimes you can find old eBay listings that way, nothing. So it doesn't look like one of these has come up on eBay in a long, long time. I only found 2 instances where I was able to even find any pictures at all of this thing. And one of them was an old bid spotter auction where apparently they sold off a 986-101, apparently brand new in the box by the looks of it. So that's the Vise that was supposed to go in this box. And unfortunately, because it's such a rare bird, I don't think I'm ever going to find one. I noticed even on Mitutoyo's current website, the only listings of precision vices, they all start with a 930 prefix, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, so much for thinking, hey, I would have loved to have found one of these 986-101s without a box, selling cheap on eBay. I'd buy it, put it in this box, and then I'd have a nice little, marriage made in heaven there. But not going to be the case. Wasn't meant to be. All right, we're going to close out this episode here. Well, hold the phone, guys. I know I said that I was done with this pick, but I've got one item here that I just picked up while I was doing the video for this pick, and it's rather than wait, I'm going to tack it on to the end of this. So this is a little bit of a bonus pick, and this was right in town. This popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and it is a Starrett Precision Level. It's on 98 series, and the box has a bad crack in it right here. And actually, I think that crack goes around. Yeah, crack goes around on this side and onto this side too. So the box, which is a shame because the box is actually in great shape other than those cracks. This is an 18-inch. So this is a 98-18 on the 98 series levels. Came in the sizes 6, 8, 12, and 18 with ground and graduated main vial. It says here the bubble movement of one division is 1/10 of an inch on main vial, indicates an elevation of 0.005 per foot. Pretty cool. This one is very clean, very nice shape. Both vials, secondary vial and the main vial, are intact, no damage, and the bottom looks fantastic. And I actually bought this for resale. If I didn't have one of these, I would have been really thrilled. But I actually already have one. So what I'm going to do, since my box is not broken, my box is kind of scratched up, but it doesn't have any cracks in it. I'm going to keep my box. My level's in pretty good shape, except for, you can see it looks pretty good all along here, but right down at this end, it's got some roughness that looks to me like at some point maybe this was rusted and pitted and that somebody cleaned it. So it's not minty mint. We're going to take this pristine one and put this in my box, and I'll keep this, and we'll offer this up for sale. All right, that's interesting. The box is actually, this box is narrower than this box. So I wonder if they changed that. And also look at the, I think this is an older one. See, the design here is different. This looks more modern to me. And the more I think about it, the more I think maybe I should. I'm going to live with the cracked box. I just want to keep the, I want to keep this in the box that it originally probably came in. I don't know why. Call me a weirdo. You won't be the first. All right, now we're done. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my my flea market estate pick video on Machinist tools. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing, and please hit the like button. Take care.